3 mind hacks that I'm going to teach you today, which were taught to me back in 2004 when I was getting trained to become a radio jockey. I'm also introducing a series called Talk the Talk, which is just going to help all the men out there to get that confidence, to learn those talking techniques, to learn how to improve your voice, your tonality, your pitch. And guess what? This is all going to be coming from my everyday on the job experience. Okay. Hi everyone, this is Neeti here. Welcome to my channel. I am a men's relationship coach. I am your go-to girl who brings you every week insider information about women, what they think, what they say, and what they feel. I'm also hand-holding you in your transformative and healing journey. So do register for the 101 session, and the link is in YouTube bio and Instagram bio. Now, hack number 1. So this is called what I call disempowering belief. First, understand what is a belief. Okay. Now, belief is basically a thought or an idea that we assume to be true. All right. So there's no right or wrong belief as such, because belief is primarily it's more like an outcome of your experience or an interpretation of your experience. Now, normally what tends to happen is that some of these negative beliefs in our growing up years, till we have become an adult, they don't serve us, they don't build us, they don't let us grow. In fact, they limit us. So today I'm going to be talking about these negative disempowering beliefs and what are we going to do to bring about a mind shift, because you have to become a confident talker. Well, what happens is that these limiting beliefs of ours, they come since childhood. So let's say if you as a child have always thought that, you know what, I'm shy, no, I can't take part in a race or any school competition. What tends to happen is over a period of time, your brain actually makes sure to make you act like a shy boy. Now, for example, in school, let's say you liked a girl, the very first girl that you liked. Now, she didn't like you back, so nothing worked out. Now, what happened? You assumed without any evidence, okay? The girl did not come to you, did not say anything to you, that you're not good looking, you're ugly or whatever, but you just assumed that मैं तो बहुत ordinary हूँ, I am not a good looking guy. That little boy, that little brain of that little boy assumed that, okay? So that became a disempowering belief. In your growing up years as an adult also, your brain has acted in such a way, it has made sure that every time you dress up, you will look at yourself in the mirror and you will always say, it's okay, you know what, I'm not so good looking, and it's okay, it's not like girls are going to come and talk to me or even look at me. And that starts to actually happen in real life. And that is exactly what happens when you say that I am not confident. So for any confident talker, when we were trained back in 2004 as a radio jockey, it's not easy to just press the button, go live on air and do a live show like I am talking to you right now. But the thing is that, when you bring about that shift in you, I constantly told myself, I am confident. I will say this thing confidently. I will say this thing one time, but I will say it in such a way that all my thoughts are properly joining and entangling each other properly. So you have to break this belief system. And what tends to happen is that our mind has this very cool mechanism, okay, which is called the confirmation bias. Why I call it cool? Because it always helps us to think negative. मतलब वो कभी आपको positive सोचने ही नहीं देगा. इतनी मजेदार चीज़ है ना ये. So how do we kill this? So listen to this carefully. Now, confirmation bias is something, it engages your brain to look for evidence to confirm that your belief is right. So your belief, thinking that I can't speak confidently in front of a number of people, your belief that I can't remember so many points and speak them properly, your belief that public speaking, absolutely no. Your disempowering belief has actually slaughtered your own self-confidence, which can come out very naturally over a number of years. And how are we going to align that belief system? Is by visualization. This is something which is extremely powerful. So, in yoga, we're always taught you have to sit down, close your eyes and visualize, because the brain doesn't know the difference between the real act and visualization. So every time when you sit down and you want to close your eyes and you want to start thinking that this is how I'm going to enter the office, this is what I'm wearing, this is how sharp and confident I'm looking, and this is how I'm going to enter the meeting room. These are my points, and this is how I'm going to say it, and this is how I'm going to just stand, and I'll be ready to answer anybody's questions. When you visualize things in detail, this could also go for anybody who's going, to college, or anybody who's going for an interview. You visualize every small little thing, even to the extent how you're holding your bag, how you're walking inside, your shoes are shining, you have this color tie, you have that color shirt, all of those things, and this visualization can help you in any aspect of your life. Visualization actually works like a little typewriter in your brain. So the minute you start to visualize success, there is this success code that starts to be written in your brain, and unconsciously you start to act in a certain way or perform in a certain way that will lead you to success. All right, so this was point number 1, the main mind hack, which will help you to become a confident talker. Visualize how you're talking, what are your hand movements, how are you sounding, the facial expressions that you have. By the way, in my series Talk the Talk, I will be teaching you all of these things in detail, what I have learned over the years as a radio jockey. Moving on to mind hack number 2. Stop thinking what others are thinking about you. अब ये क्या है? ये एक हमारी negative belief है, all right? और इससे होता क्या है? It is one of the best ways to kill and slaughter you becoming a confident talker. Because the minute you start thinking that what is going on in their mind, this is like a mind play, and then you start to become a little uncomfortable. So you start to second guess every move that you make. You start to feel that your body language is not right, you start to feel that your facial expressions are a little weird, you start to feel that your shoulders are getting a little stiff, and this sends out a signal to the other person that you are not sure of yourself, you're not sure of the work, and you're not bringing enough value on the table. Well, my personal solution is that when you are making a presentation or when you're talking in a room to a number of people, you always look at one person for a second, then you shift your gaze. Then you look at the other person for a second, then you shift your gaze. So basically, किसी एक जने पे आपको बहुत लंबे टाइम के लिए किसी एक जने को नहीं देखना है. If you focus on one person for, let's say, 3 to 4 seconds, you might pick up his or her energies, and that can play as a disempowering belief in your mind, and mind starts to play games with you. Also, when you are trying to become a confident talker in front of a lot of people, this mind hack really works. Keep telling yourself constantly that I cannot control, let it go, मैं control नहीं कर सकता, जाने दो. Alright, so now moving on to mind hack number 3, that's going to make you a confident talker. Low expectations and high confidence. Normally, a lot of people online, social media coaches are going to tell you that, walk in a meeting or walk in for public speaking with high expectations and high confidence, okay? Well, psychologically, I'll tell you how this works. If you walk inside a meeting, let's say, for example, and you go with high expectations and high confidence is good, all right? But high expectations, now you never know what the client is going to turn around and say. Maybe he accepts your sales pitch or your campaign. Instead of 80%, which you were thinking, high expectations, I'm going to kill this meeting, but the client only agrees for 50%. So now what tends to happen is that you pretend that you're happy, at least you got 50%, but somewhere deep down, your morale goes down, your confidence also goes down. You start to really question yourself that I prepared so much, but still, I'm not too happy. Now, what I'm saying is that to become a confident talker, you walk inside a room with low expectations and high confidence. So your homework has to be really well done. You need to practice all your points or whatever speech that you're making really well. You also need to make sure that whatever you're saying, you are saying what the other person wants to listen. Say what the other person wants to listen, okay? You bring value to the table. You also say something that will benefit the other person. Only then they will keep their interest in your talk. So this is all about high confidence, okay? But when I say that you need to have low expectations, that's only because do you have a control over the outcome? No. Do you have a control over the result? No. But what you do have a control is over how well you have prepared. So when you have low expectations, let's say you go and your low expectations just make you a little free also, you're a little less nervous also. So you might go with the expectation, it's all right, whatever I get, whatever. I don't want to even put any value in my mind that if I get this much, I'm happy, that much, I'm happy. You just go with low, normal expectation. And then if the outcome is good, the result is good, you are happy. And if the outcome or the result is average, you were already prepared for it, right? So I hope somewhere these 3 mind hacks are going to help you. You need to practice them. And if you want to come on a one-on-one session with me, that is where I teach you things in detail. Remember, as a radio jockey, as a radio professional, there are things that happens every day on the job, on the ground, in the court, when it comes to talking and becoming confident. And yes, confidence is one of the biggest weapons. You know what? You are confident. You don't need good looks. You don't need a lot of, showing off. And you definitely don't need anybody's validation. So I hope you like this video. Do subscribe to my channel and definitely click on that hype button there to help spread this particular video. And I'm going to be coming up with another video. All these videos are now a part of my series called Talk the Talk. So I'll see you next week. Ta-da!